welcome back to the curvaceous bounty of Sin City on VegasAllNetRadio.com, the final frontier of free speech where we can say whatever the fuck we want.
And we do.
So we're here talking with the Geek Lounge, a show right here on VegasAllNetRadio.com. You can get all of their archives for all of their shows. There's little descriptors for what they talk about and everything else on their Vegas All Net Radio page. If you go to VegasAllNetRadio.com, they have a Facebook and a Twitter.
Yep.
You guys on Google Plus yet?
We're all with the what now?
Google Plus.
Who? What? With the what now?
How do you, what?
Google
Guys,
what? You mean there's more Google?
Yes.
Yes, there's lots
Did
of
you
Google.
guys hear?
Geek Boy's supposed to know
Did you guys?
I'm
hear?
not computer literate for a geek.
There's so much Google. I have a Google folder on my iPhone.
What do you guys think about? Okay, now we've heard about the Wi-Fi balloons that Google has launched. You guys heard about these, right? These weather balloons that they've launched, so they can bring Wi-Fi to remote areas.
So
this
the
last
natives in Congo need Wi-Fi.
so
Do they have
Of course,
to do
everyone
it?
needs to be on Farmville.
I guess they
Right.
should take
so
Candy Crush.
in the last 30 days or so, I can't remember how old the story is, but I just heard a reference to it today on my way in. The barges, the secret super duper barges that somebody found out were registered to Google.
Oh yeah. The Google
that
barges.
are being launched from.
That's where they keep all the porn. All of the internet porn is right there.
I heard this.
So wait, what are the barges? Now the barges are.
But we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Google's saying it's just a boat.
Well, maybe they're giving these remote places that they're trying to get Wi-Fi service to some computers to try out this Wi-Fi service.
Here is what I am predicting. Here's what I'm predicting. We know that Google has their Google car, so that it can drive itself around LA and San Diego, right? It can basically traverse all of Southern California.
Right.
I believe that they are expanding the Google car's reach, and they can't test it on land because, whatever, the AI that's going to be required to make this car actually functional in the real world, they can't test it where people are going to see it. It's on the barge. They're going to go test it somewhere else where...
As it drives around on the barge.
Well, either driving around on the barge,
Or they're going to China.
or the barge itself is going to be self-navigating.
Oh, I see. Their driving system.
So we're just gonna throw my whole porn theory out the window then?
Oh no, there'll be plenty of porn on there.
That's
There's
in the
got to be at
bottom
least
deck.
3 nerds,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I just
So.
wanted to make sure. That was my theory.
I did know, yeah.
No, they store all the porn on my cloud.
Okay, so we were talking about the PS4 is the biggest thing in video games coming up.
Yep.
What about games themselves? Are there any games that you guys are looking forward to, or
You know what? I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters, but I think the Titanfall, which is a first-person shooter, is something that's going to be really exciting. I don't know if a lot of people have talked about it back at was it the E3? It was one of the when they were announcing the Xbox and the PS4, but I think it was mostly on Xbox they were announcing that.
do you think this is one of those games that's going to be so big that it'll have movies based on it, like Resident Evil or any of those?
I think it might turn out to be like Halo huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I've never played Halo.
No?
No, I've never owned an Xbox either.
That would be
I
why.
I'm thoroughly anti-Xbox.
Oh,
Because
we are so
Microsoft
best
is-
friends now.
Microsoft is great on my computer, and Windows 7 is the best thing they've put out since.
I
ever.
you know what? I actually like the Xbox for gaming, but I've been using my PS3 more just because it has the Blu-ray. So I'm all into the Blu-ray, but that's pretty much it. But yeah,
But
I
the-
think Titanfall's going to be
So
a good one.
the reason why gaming consoles are getting so big is because you can do so much more with it. Because
Yeah.
you can access YouTube and Netflix and Hulu on your gaming consoles now,
Yeah.
where you never were able to before. It
Yes.
was just for gaming.
Oh
so-
no! Well, and the best part about it is usually at the beginning you were forced by Netflix to watch it on your tiny little. Most people have a 15-inch screen on their laptop or their computer, but with your console you can now watch it on your giant 57-inch plasma screen TV.
Can I ask a question about video games?
Yes.
All right, don't anybody laugh at me. But you say that, I'm familiar with the big games like Halo and whatever. Now, do they make it for No, I want to know, will they make the same game for Xbox and for PlayStation?
It
It depends, yeah, because stuff like Halo is only exclusive to Microsoft.
Okay.
So only the Xboxes will have Halo.
Okay.
But the PS3s or 4s or whatever, they won't have
Won't
Halo.
have it. But there are some games that...
There are a lot of games, that go...
crossover, and there are
yeah.
some games that will have different features between the different systems because of what they can do. There's a sword fighting game that I can't remember the name of right now, but it's like Mortal Kombat, but usually with swords. Soul Calibur, thank you very much. And each system that you play it on, you have different characters available. There's characters that overreach all three systems, but like if you played it on Nintendo, you could play with Link or with Mario or with any of the other guys from there. Or if you played it on Xbox, you could usually get one of their Xbox exclusive characters on there.
I gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so let's move into the world of comic books. What's the up and coming in comic books right now?
Well, one of the big things right now is the new Miss Marvel. I don't know if you guys watched the Colbert Report.
Really?
But but they had announced it a long time ago that there is a new character, Miss Marvel, who will she's going to be written by a Muslim writer.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, I know it's going to be one of those.
Is she going to be in a burqa?
No. G. Willow Winslow.
Kicking ass for the
I
jihad?
want to know
And
why
she,
J-Box has sparkles on his face.
D-Box?
D-Box.
He's got stripper glitter?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
stripper
has
glitter,
red
bro?
stripper glitter right here. He'll explain that later.
So Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, which is they have the old Miss Marvel, but they have this new Miss Marvel who is a Muslim teen, and that's, I don't know, it looks interesting, but it's been causing quite a bit of a stir already, as those things usually do, you know.
Have the first one come out yet, or are they still marketing it?
She's gonna come out in January of next year, and then she'll have her own solo series in February.
Has she made any appearances in any
Not
of the
yet.
other? Okay.
Not yet. In January she'll make her first appearance, but that's like the big thing right now is
Okay.
her. Yeah.
So because I was remembering back when I think it was it Aquaman or the Flash who said he was gay? Was it
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern,
Earth
that's
2
right.
Green Lantern, which
Earth
is
2
not
Green
the regular Green. It's not Hal Jordan. It's
right?
Hal Jordan's backup.
So do you think they do this a lot? Because I remember the Marvels. What's that crossover series they had where they were rebelling against the government? What's that fighting against the? Oh, what the hell is that? I can't remember.
is an old comic,
The
right?
Registration Act.
Maybe that's
The
what
Civil
it was.
War.
The Civil War. That's
Okay,
it.
yeah, the
That's
Civil
it.
War,
And
yeah.
that was huge and caused a lot of controversy. And
Yeah, he turned heroes
made
against
people-
heroes. It wasn't
Right.
about any villains, basically.
Found
Right. What?
You found your phone.
Yeah, it was under my truck.
Oh.
It fell out and fell under my. Okay, so we've got Miss Marvel, the Muslim. Is she going to be Muslim? Do you
Yes,
think?
she's a Muslim teen.
She is a Muslim teen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Miss Susie Cream Cheese wants to know: have you checked out Buzzkill comic? Is it really all that offensive?
No, you know what? I have not checked out Buzzkill comic.
It's not that offensive.
What is it? Is it a?
D-Box,
regular
give
comic, or-
us what you know about Buzzkill.
He surfs the net all the time.
Is it a comic company? First of all, is it a company?
No, it's just a comic.
Okay.
just-
Do you know who it's put out by?
No, I just flashed right through it. I saw it like, this is new to me. Why not? Flashed through it like, it was boring. I didn't read it.
Okay.
I mean, like, if it was offensive, I would have read it. That's no question about it. That's me the stuff I
Why
read.
is that what they're saying? Like it's offensive as an adult? Offensive or?
I don't know. Can you expand on that for us, Miss Cream Cheese?
Okay. So
Can you hand me my phone?
So we've got comics, the comic book world, movies. What's coming up with movies that you guys are looking forward to besides the Thor that you guys talked about already?
Batman versus Superman is the one really big one coming up. That's going to be a little bit.
It's gonna play out in her bedroom later.
As some may know, some may not know, Ben Affleck. I don't know if you don't know. Wow, where have you been? But Ben Affleck's supposed to be Batman
In
the
that-
new movie,
new-
so that's
Caused
created
quite
a
a
lot
bit
of
of
Wait,
a
no,
stir,
wait.
yeah.
Is there going to be a separate Batman that Ben Affleck's going to be, or is he going to play
No.
the Batman against Superman?
He's gonna play the Batman.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's also rumors that Wonder Woman will be in this movie, as well as another superhero or
There
two.
were
but we're
rumors
not
that
sure.
Wonder Woman was going to be in like 3 of the last movies that have
And-
come out.
and that she's supposed to have her own TV show and her own
Right.
movie, and yeah, there's a lot of rumors going around that.
Who's going to play Batman? I mean, Superman.
Henry Cavill, the same guy from
same
Man
Same
of
guy who
Steel.
played him
yeah.
in the original.
So this is
Yeah.
going to be technically a Superman movie. It'll just be Batman versus Superman.
Or is it a Batman?
Well, it's
movie?
affectionately nicknamed Batman versus Superman.
But it's just
Right.
Batman
Yes,
Superman.
it's
It's
a-
the world's
it's a-
finest movie, basically.
yeah, it's
So,
a Superman sequel
where they
though.
just team up.
Okay.
yeah.
They'll
So
probably
we'll
do what
see.
they all do when they all team up. They'll fight it first, and then we have a common enemy. Let's team up.
So let's talk about a couple of the movies. How about Ender's Game? That's based on a sci-fi series.
I did not see that, but you
Novel
saw that,
series?
and you can
Is
already
it-
tell by his face.
Oh shit! Is it not as good as the books?
No,
Damn it!
no,
I'm
not
so
at all.
bummed.
But
If someone who's
but-
never read the books,
you'll like it.
okay,
Okay. I've never read the
It
books.
is. It is
so-
the.
They're
It is
great.
the best that you are gonna get right now in a one-shot movie.
Okay.
Because while Ender's Game is only like a 300-page book, and I recommend anybody to go read it because it's a fantastic book.
Well, Orson Scott Card is hands down the best science fiction writer now, period, ever.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
would
know.
disagree with that.
I've read
Ender's
most
Game.
of his
Ender's
stuff.
Game's a
Cough
really
of
great one.
disdain.
The rest of his series, the rest of the Ender series and the Bean series, he goes crazy. I don't
yeah.
even know what. Like Ender's Game is really great, solid reasoning, all these different things. And then I read Speaker for the Dead, which is the next book after Ender's Game, and it was kind of cool, but it got weird. And then I tried to read the next one, got about halfway through, and was like, I'm done. I can't follow
I
what
loved
you're
how
doing
weird
anymore.
they got. I love how weird he gets with his stuff.
I have a friend who did too. Yeah.
He wrote a series called Alvin the Maker, the Seventh Son series,
Mhm.
and I have always wanted to see that play out as a movie or a television series. It's a historical fiction. Go back in time, and things are different because people have these abilities to do things.
Right.
And one of the things that different is like Benedict Arnold is a hero and George Washington was a traitor, and there's still slavery going on. Indians have erected this impenetrable wall at the Mississippi River that you can't cross unless you have permission from some Grand High Poobah Indian dude. It's wacky, crazy,
Wow, it sounds
psycho
interesting.
shit, and I love it.
What about the new Hunger Games movie that's going to be coming
Oh, I
out? Are you
can't
guys
wait.
are you guys Hunger Games fans?
I am.
I am.
I
too.
am. I've read the first 2 books, and I love Jennifer Lawrence. So
Who
yeah, I
doesn't?
said.
So you like the movie? You like the movie?
I did like the movie. The book had a lot more going on, which as all books do.
Yeah.
Than the movie does, but I think the movie was still great. I think the movie was still
I can't
entertaining.
wait
It's like
to-
300. 300 is a lot different from the comic, but it was still a really good movie. So.
Well, the book, the original book that
The
it was
comic book, yeah.
taken from. No, the actual
Oh, the actual story of the,
the
yeah, the
novel that it
yeah.
was taken from is the best, of course. But one of my favorite things, being a geek myself, is I have these fringe things that I like that I know isn't commonplace in the lexicon of Americana, right?
Mhm.
So I'm a huge Piers Anthony fan, although he's had some stuff out there. But like the world of Xanth, I would like to see that turned into a movie.
I think you were telling us
I
about that a
want-
while ago.
I-
Yeah.
I want his with Death and the Three Fates, that series that he wrote.
Oh, right. I know what you're talking about. The 7 Mother Nature and Death and yeah.
Yeah,
So incarnations of immortality.
that's it.
So one of the things that I really like, even though people screw it up a lot, is when they take those obscure things that I have loved all my life and bring it into the mainstream. Like
Mm.
The Hunger Games was just a
Yeah.
book, that kids
wasn't even all
loved,
that
young
popular.
teens
No, it
loved.
wasn't. And then
And then they made it into a movie, and now it's this huge thing.
I
But
love
all
it.
those fans
They're
are
doing that
now
with City
doing
of
this.
Bones.
Is
Game of
that?
Thrones.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is it like a double-edged sword? You're glad to see now it's full frontal in front of the whole of the world,
It went full
or
Monty on it.
I am until they ruin it. There are some things that come out that are really. There are some things that come out
Yeah.
that are really good. The first season of Game of Thrones, excellent. Second season, they kind of start to add stuff and change things, and now I refuse to watch it because it's just.
Oh my
It's
God!
just
You
too
didn't see
different.
the Red Wedding?
I did. I loved it. I
Oh, it
loved
was
seeing
so
Robb Stark
good.
die. I loved seeing his mom die, and I loved seeing that character that they made up for absolutely no reason die. I love it. I loved every second of it. I cheered the entire time. Blood everywhere. Yes.
Well, you've got to watch the wedding coming up.
I'll probably catch episodes.
The purple
My
wedding.
family still watches it.
The
But
purple wedding.
this is the thing that I really don't like about that is, like I said, it ruins it. If you're gonna go by the book, then go by the book. But if you're gonna change it, if it's just we just loosely based it off of this thing, okay, that's fine. Call it something different then. One of the things I love, and they did change the name of it, but they put it out like it's supposed to be, oh, this is the Sword of Truth series, and it's called Legend of the Seeker.
It was good.
And it had nothing at all to do with the book, and they
With the
didn't even
characters.
try. Yes, but I mean, and the plot, everything about it was completely
Do you
different.
think it has
Yep.
to do with time? Like, for example, Game of Thrones. Like, I read every day. I check for new spoilers for season 4, and it seems like they'll say, and they always put a disclaimer. This is how the books are going, so
Yeah.
this is what we assume will happen in the next season. But they always, like, they'll say, like, there's somebody. This guy has another brother, but he's been left out, and they've given, like, in the book where it say, like, this brother did these things. They kind of like put two characters together. Do you think they do that as a matter of time or as a matter of
Yes.
like there's a lot of characters
I-
on that
Yes,
show?
and in a story like Game of Thrones, and there's been a lot of things that they've done this to, where they've taken these epic series and turned them into TVs or videos. It is easier to track 107 different characters through a series of books than it
Yes.
is on television.
Right, exactly.
And so when you do have the ability to, when you're writing, I've studied this a little bit because I really hated it when they butchered Stephen King novels. When they're writing the script, they almost always are writing it with the author there.
Mhm.
They're almost always the author's, because he's given permission for this book. Almost every author says, "But I need to approve the final script." So when the script does come out, you have to know that the author did read this, and he
do
did
the
say,
rewrite, yeah.
"This is okay. I can accept this," because the essence of the story that I was telling is still being maintained inside the story that is being retold.
And that is why Terry Goodkind, who is the author of my favorite series, Sword of Truth, is no longer my favorite author because he approved
changed it.
Right.
Legend of the Seeker, which was so god awful. If you've never read the books, it's a fantastic series, but I was just upset. Like, had they changed even the names, had they just not had him named Richard, her named Kalan, this guy
Mhm.
named Zed, all these different, the characters weren't even like they were in the book. Like, if you're gonna change everything, then truly change everything. Now, Game of Thrones, I'm not upset at Game of Thrones for doing what they've done because, like Sierra said, it takes a lot to track all these different characters, and they've had to do the changes that they've done to accommodate their time restraints. And I respect that, and I hope the series goes on and continues to do well. It's just not really what I care to watch anymore. Is all. No hard feelings. Done. Now,
They're gonna
Ender's
bring
Game, on the other
Catherine
hand,
Stark back
Ender's
from the
Game, on the
dead.
other hand, to backtrack just a little bit, they
As a
cut
zombie?
out things. My biggest peeve is when they cut out things
That are hugely
that
important.
are hugely important. And at first, when Ender's Game starts out in the beginning of the movie, I'm just like, okay, lots of little things that I personally would have liked to have seen, but not a big deal. But then we start to go further into the story, and it's like, well, what about that? This is going to be a huge point now because you didn't say this one sentence.
That's my
You
point.
can't lead into it anymore.
They did
now
that
you've
with
ruined
Harry-
the ending.
They did that with Harry Potter.
Now-
They cut out
Yes.
a lot of
What
very
series were-
important.
And that's why I don't
one
like
of the
the movies.
things, one of the
I like
reasons
the
that
movies for what they're.
For what they are, they're
Yeah.
decent.
one of the
but
reasons that I love having obscure or just cult or whatever get thrust into the forefront is now you have a whole new audience that's going to go out and buy that book or that series
Kind of brings
or
new
that.
life
yeah.
to it.
I
You know,
have met
and
people
so
who
you-
started.
I think part of the problem with what you were saying is having these obscure tastes that just kind of get thrust out for everyone. I think we're part of the problem because whenever I see something great, I want to tell everybody, "Oh my
Right.
God, do you watch Doctor Who? You don't watch Doctor Who? Well, we got to sit down and watch Doctor Who. We got to go. You got to read this book. I'll let you borrow it."
Right.
And I think it just kind of goes on from there. And
Right.
Speaking of which,
usually
like
what
you
tends
said,
to ruin it when you're trying to pick up like a general, like a mass of people who don't know
Right.
what they're watching.
Right.
So it always gets changed to suit their needs.
you had said it's kind of like a double-edged
My
sword,
phone,
and
it's
it's actually
8:30.
and it's actually funny that you said it's a double-edged sword because we were talking about that on our show actually earlier today. Because Luis was saying, he's like, wouldn't it be great if you could watch something for the first time again? And I was like, well, yeah, but we do that as geeks. And I said the same thing. I was like, it's kind of a catch-22 or a double-edged sword because you introduce somebody, you're like, hey, have you seen Doctor Who? You haven't? Check this series out. And then as they watch each episode, you see the excitement in them grow, and it kind of renews that in yourself.
It's just like
Right.
having kids.
But
It is.
you get so much people on the bandwagon, and it usually ends up tearing it down. Now, when they can do it right, I applaud it. It is great. Again, Game of Thrones doing a great job, even with the changes they've had to make. But when you get lazy with it and you take things out and fabricate completely different scenes, stuff that didn't happen, Aragon is a great movie. If
Oh.
you've never read the book, but guess what?
It's a
almost
terrible
nothing to
movie.
do-
It was bad, yeah.
They tried to cram 3 books into a single movie, and they
It's
completely
lazy.
obliterated the friendship storyline that happens in there, the overreaching, the epic
Yep.
battle scenes, the beautiful relationship between him and the dragon completely dropped out
instead
of the
of
whole
taking
movie.
their time with it, building it like it should have been, they just went for, hey, you know what's popular right now? Fantasy. What's a popular fantasy book? Aragon. Great. Give me a script in tomorrow. Okay, we have our script. Let's film this.
Oh, and there's 3 books.
Okay,
We need
so
to
we've
put them all in
got
one movie.
we've got video games, we've got comics, we've got movies, TV. What's coming up in TV that you guys looking forward? Did I hear a little rumor about another Star Trek series coming? Did you guys hear anything
It's
about
not,
that?
There's
Not Star
always-
Trek. Star Wars. Star Trek will not be
A
on
TV
TV.
Okay,
So
here
It's
is-
possible, but there's so much legal around it because that's what J.J. Abrams wanted. He wanted to do the movies and then kind of bring it back to TV. But the studios went back and forth because someone has the rights to it on TV, somebody has the rights to it on movies, and someone else has the rights to it on like books, I think.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Okay.
Everyone's got the rights to it on all these different platforms. So Abram finally just went, you know what? I'm done. And then they offered him Star Wars, and he's like, can we roll this into some other stuff? And Disney was like, of course we're going to roll it into other stuff. We want to make more money.
Because
And he
we're
was like-
Disney.
He was like, cool, I'm for that. So
there may be
Disney-
a Star Wars TV show.
there
coming.
will be.
There will be.
There definitely will be. There
There
is.
have been Star Wars TV shows for the last 20 years.
Yeah, mostly.
I've never seen
mostly,
any of them.
Usually animated.
Yeah, I was gonna say mostly
I was gonna
animated.
say.
These will still probably be animated. They have many. I think it's 3 definite animated movies and definitely 3 live action movies, being episodes 7, 8, and 9. Star Trek may come to the TV. There has been a lot of buzz over it, especially with the popularity of the movies, and they're gonna do another one.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to wait and see how that kind of goes, because like I said, with all the red tape around
So
it.
there's a lot of people throwing ideas around about what 7, 8, and 9 are going to be about. There is a story arc that was originally approved by the Grand High Poobah of all things Star Wars, and that is that Luke and Leia rebuild the entire Jedi Order in a completely different way than it was originally. Because Leia, very few people know, is an actual Jedi. That is the story that I want to see them bring back or to bring in, is Luke and Leia rebuilding the Order and the battles that they have to go over with, because the Sith have been just running rampant with no actual,
No check.
with no check. And now here's 2 very powerful Jedis. One is a Jedi Knight, and one is a Jedi Master. Leia is a Jedi Master, which is not the same thing as a Jedi Knight. And they are rebuilding the entire Jedi Order, just the 2 of them, with a couple of ghosts for company. And I think I would love to see that be 7, 8, and 9, is how they
They're-
bring the
Okay,
Order
so
back.
encompassing all of geekdom, what is it that you're looking forward to the very most?
50th anniversary.
Of
Yeah.
Doctor Who?
Doctor
Yeah.
Who. Yeah.
Yeah?
Looking
That's
wait-
for you. What about you?
Well, right now, I'm just waiting for a Almost Human TV series on Fox to come out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can't
Almost
wait.
Human looks
Yeah, I'm
Almost
waiting, like,
Human
I'm
looks
checking
really
my calendar
good.
every day, like,
Now, for those
Tonight
of you,
opening, the 17th and 18th.
for those of you who
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
heard about Almost Human, is about a cop with a robot partner, correct?
yeah, they go a whole
Yeah.
thing.
There's
looks
some
good.
controversy over whether he's an actual robot or if he is a human cyborg. being
You see
returned
that
to
too,
life.
right?
Yes, I've
Yeah,
seen
see
that.
that.
Okay. And then you, what are you looking forward to? Coming up.
EverQuest Next.
What's that?
So, do you know what EverQuest is?
Yes.
Online MMO game. Right?
Evercrack?
Just really-
Are you fucking kidding me?
But this is pre-everything.
It's like
EverQuest
the prequel?
EverQuest came out, right? And the story started. Then they had expansions. Then they did EverQuest 2, which just continued on with it. Then it had expansions. EverQuest Next is going all the way back to the beginning from the very start of it and is rebuilding. It is a completely different game. It is the most amazing MMO I have ever seen the previews for. If they can do half of what they have shown, this will be the most epic MMOs of all time. I am so blown away. You have to check it out. If you haven't, EverQuest Next, Google it. It truly looks awesome.
Here's what I'm looking forward to. I know we have to take a break, but I found a little game called The Room, and there's been a lot of games that have kind of tried to. It's by Fireproof Games. This guy he started his own gaming company, but he's worked on all of the big games out there. They're coming out with The Room 2. That's coming out later this year, but I've seen all the previews for it, and I'm super excited for it. So that's what I'm excited about. It's a little indie game. If you've got your Apple or Android device, you can download it. It's only like 99 cents right now. So it's super awesome.
Okay, check
I'm
it
looking out for Room 2.
Hey, you're listening to the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City on VegasOnNetRadio.com, streaming a live video at SinCityBounty.com. We will be right back. This is our long break. We got a couple of songs for you. I picked out a Dean Martin song just for this man right here.
Alrighty.
And Bruno Mars, because he's my favorite artist right now. And we'll be back. Don't go away. And we've got some fat news and our catch-ups and more with the Geek Boys. So
Yay.